to Melfa Tech Consult, and today I'm going to take you through a few networking devices. I mean, everything that holds up your networking organization, in your homes, and small business, large business, and everything. So stay tuned as I take you through various networking devices. If you want to be an IT engineer or a network person, these are some of the basic things that you need to know. So stay tuned. Here we give you latest tech tips, updates, trends, and other courses that we can take you through. So follow me as I take you through. So this whole thing you see here is called a rack. Okay, yes. So like in a proper network setting, you need a rack to fix in all your various networking devices. So this is what we call a rack. And there are several types of racks. I mean, we have larger or big racks than what we have here. I mean, for the sake of test purpose, we're only going to use this rack here. So in this rack has several networking devices. So the first one that I'm going to show you is this device, which is called a patch panel. Okay, so what a patch panel does is that it has a connection at the back that connects to the various ports that you have in a room. So the various ports that we have in a room are these network ports that you find on the wall. So everything you find on the wall comes at the back of this device, which is called a patch panel. Then the ports you have here are connected to the switches or your router or whatever that you have, depending on how your network design or architecture is. So in this case, we have the patch panel here, and this patch panel has 48 ports, just as you can see is labeled there. So for now, what we can see here, we have 1 up to 24 ports connected to this network, which means that there are 24 different network ports on the wall of this very building that we are in. So the more you connect these ports, it indicates that you have more ports, that is network ports, within the building that you are setting up your network. So with this test, we have 2 patch panels here, and these are all Cat6 patch panels, just like you can see here. And if we say Cat6, this is the Cat6 cable. This is the Cat6 cable. The pin, this pin here connecting the Cat6 is called it's what we call the RJ45, the RJ45 pin. So these support Cat6 cables. Now, so these are the patch panels. So the patch panel basically connects all the various ports, network ports that you have in your rooms or on the wall into the server room. Okay. Our next device we have here is the switch. The switch. There are several types of switches. We have so many types of switches. This is an Ethernet switch. There are some instances that we have PoE switches, which I'll talk about that later in other videos. So this is just an Ethernet switch, which is powered at the back of this device. It has a power at the back of this device. The difference between the Ethernet switch and the PoE switch is that the PoE switch doesn't need a power to connect the various ports. Once it is turned on, all the device automatically carries power. And once the device is connected to it, it automatically turns on. And it has to solely be a PoE device in order to be turned on with a PoE switch. But with the purpose of this test, this is just an Ethernet switch, which whatever device that is connected to this switch should be connected to a power first. So if you are connecting, let's say, a hub to this switch from wherever, the hub must be connected to a power because it is not a PoE switch. So this is a D-Link switch, and this is actually a 48 switch. We have 24, we have 48, and we have other types, depending on how you are setting up the network and the number of people who will be on the network. So this is also another switch here. That's a D-Link switch, and there's also a 48 port switch for the purpose of our test and for the purpose of our network setup. So that is the switch for you. so you can actually show it. Yes, so the green light indication shows that this is actually connected. There is a connection with this very port and on this cable. The one that doesn't have any lights indicates that there are no connection. Nothing is connected to this very port. That is the reason. No data, nothing is passing through. Good. So next, our device is the Fortinet firewall. This is called a firewall. So we have two firewalls. This is called a firewall. So what this firewall does is that it filters the network. Okay. So you only have access directly to the internet. So internet goes through this firewall here in order to be distributed to the switches. So right from the source, internet passes through the firewall. Then the firewall distributes to the switches, and then the switches does it to the various ports. So the Fortinet firewall also serves as a serious security point for your network. There's always advisable that whatever you assign your antivirus on the endpoint devices, you need a firewall in order to secure your network. If you don't want any problem with other, phishing and all of those things, then you will need a Fortinet or a firewall. It doesn't matter the brand, but this here we use the Fortinet firewall. That is the FortiGate100F firewall. That's what we use. So you have all the various ISPs connected here from their router to this. So on the firewall, you can also create VLANs as well from the firewall, that you can segment the network. So I'll come to VLANs and then much more details into firewall in other videos. So this is how the firewall looks like. So we have Cisco firewall, we have the Fortinet firewall. Those are all different types of firewall. So down here we have our server. This is a server. There are several types of server. We have Dell server, we have Windows server. All these are types of servers, but here we use mostly the Dell service. So this is a server. This is also our server, which contains other resources, on the network that users are able to access. Then down here we have the ISP. There is the routers. You have Vodafone and then MTN. That is what we use here for the purpose of our network setup. So now, once we receive internet from the ISP through its modem, there is a connection directly to the firewall. Like I said, the firewall is what filters the network. So for security purposes, so all the internet lands on the various firewalls. So once we have internet on the firewall, then now we pick connection to the various switches, and that is how can we be able to set the network up completely. So basically, these are the few networking devices that you find mostly in every server room, and in next videos we'll get you more of the networking devices. And also finally, there is an AP here. If we say an AP, is basically an access point. So this is also an access point, which is a Fortinet access point, which provides wireless connectivity. And this is a PoE wireless AP. Good. So the firewall we have here are PoE firewalls. So that's how come we're able to power this AP without any direct, power source. Exactly. So on this note, you should read more and then be watching more of our videos, and we are going to set up a whole network as time goes on in our next videos. Thank you guys. Enjoy it.